everything is okay. Now my voice is also audible. So very good morning, dear student. Today we are going to see about 25th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So here, the basically how you can get this PDF. You can simply scan this QR code to download our application. In that application, there is called Premium Infographics Edition. So you can get that. And those who are using iOS and iPad device, you can simply download the Class Plus application and use org code PKRMEJ to get it. And here mainly our discussion is how we can write this current affair in our prelims mains examination. So my emphasis on this discussion is about how each and every articles, the points given, the current affair given, that can we use in our different points of that can be prelims mains or different subject. It can be ethics, it can be essay. I'm just going to identify you and help you to make note of it so that it can be value added to you. And during our discussion I'm going to give you 10 to 15 targets, 10 to 15 tasks. So you have to complete this task after completion of this video. So it is my promise you'll get 20 to 30 marks extra and 80 plus marks in your mains also, because I have followed this principle and I've scored very good marks in both prelims as well as mains. That is the reason I'm giving this suggestion. So first one is India UK Inc trade deal extended framework of ties. So recently India and UK signed a free trade agreement. Free trade agreement means that allow free flow of goods without attracting much tariff. So the trade deal will benefit the farmer, MSME, medium small micro enterprise, footwear, jewelry export. So British product will face less tariff in India. This said by our Prime Minister, and Eco Minister call for deal Britain's biggest since Brexit. Brexit means Britain exit from the European Union. So India and United Kingdom signed a comprehensive economic trade agreement. This is what called CETA. Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. This is what called CETA. Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi visit to the UK, deal was signed by Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and with that of their counterpart. Two sides release a REWAC extended cooperation framework replacing roadmap. So earlier we have a cooperation on the roadmap for 2030. We have replaced with that India UK vision of 2035. So that is what going to driven our relationship, how we have to maintain our relationship between two countries by 2035. So dear student, please comment on the comment box if you want any kind of suggestion, improvement in discussion, like if you want in-depth discussion, if you want just reading of the newspaper or context, whatever may be, because I'm having a lot of experience in this field, or if you want bilingual also. So whatever may be your suggestion, please write in the comment box. Definitely will incorporate, because your feedback really matter to me, because whatever I am saying from point of view of my point of view, but I don't know about your point of view. So deal would benefit the Indian farmer, MSME sector, Indian footwear, jewelry export. So because the UK is largest importer of all these things like MSME product, footwear, jewelry. So if we have free trade agreement, that means our good can reach their market very low price. He indicated that British medical device and aerospace part could be more easily sold in India. So we are having huge population and we are need huge medical device. So by free trade agreement it is allow free flow of British medical parts to the India. So our you can say healthcare need also going to be improved. Okay. So next is also about so next Indian clothes, food, shoes could be less costly in UK. So that is also going to be benefit to the Britain also. So if you look into the UK and versus India free trade agreement, so most of the goods that UK want to export to India, so we don't have we don't have any conflict, and much of the good that India want to export to the UK, so we don't have any, you can say, same sector. So that means we can utilize our competitive advantage. Let's say India is having competitive advantage in agriculture, UK is having competitive advantage in aerospace, so we are complementary economy. So that is going to benefit to the both country. So next is Supreme Court stay the 2006 blast verdict, but convict need not return to the jail. Okay. So the Supreme Court on Thursday stay the operation of Bombay High Court judgment which accused all the 12 convict in 7/11 Mumbai train blast in 2006, which killed hundreds of people and injuring thousands of people under Maharashtra control of organized crime. So this is very important for your security. So multiple state government, they have created some laws to deal with the terrorism. So you have to note them. So it is called MCOCA. It is called M Coca. Other state like Gujarat is also having G Coca. Other law like Tada, terrorist, Tada, Pota. So these are few anti-terror law that is being enacted in India to deal with the terrorism. Na? Okay? So you need to remember that. So the state objective, the Mehta clarify that the state objective was to put on the acquittal man. The state objective was not to put the acquittal man on the jail. So here the state is not objective to just put them again the jail, but here they are concerning about the verdict, because in this verdict, so Bombay High Court said that they need to be acquitted because there is no proper investigation, there is no proper eyewitness. We can beyond the reasonable doubt say that these person are convicts, like criminals, so we need to penalize them. So on that ground they have been released. So their main intention is that I'm not seeking stay on the bringing them back to the jail. That is not the intention. There are certain finding law given shall not be treated as a precedent in any other trialing. If this law is acted as a precedent, so other trial that is going to be happen, so they might impact. So there are other other those who are involved in the terrorist activity, they might scot free, they might go scot free without facing the penal. अगर देखो इसको अगर हमने पूरा ऐसे की तरफ मानने चले तो बाद में क्या होगा, जो दूसरी जो लोग हैं जो जेल फेस कर रहे हैं और ट्रायल फेस कर रहे हैं उनको भी छोड़ना पड़ेगा. सो acquittal not stayed. ठीक है. So next important news is no plan or intentions to make changes to the preamble. This is what said by the law minister in the Rajya Sabha. Recently we have seen that there are multiple the minister and the officials, they have repeatedly said that we need to amend the preamble to change two words, preamble, secularism and socialism, but law ministry clearly stated that there is no such intention. Government has no current plan or intentions to reconsider or remove the word secularism and socialism preamble. This is what said by the law minister. So law minister said that the Supreme Court in November 2024 had dismissed petition challenging 1976 42nd constitutional amendment, reaffirmed that parliament's power to amend the constitution extend to the preamble. So that means parliament, yes, it is already settled a question, parliament can amend the preamble provided that it does not violate the basic structure of the constitution. And court clarified that socialism in Indian context signify welfare state, does not impede private sector growth. That means our socialism is quite different from the socialism of the China. In socialism of China, state ownership of everything, but in our socialism we want to reduce inequality, promote egalitarian society, welfare of the all, while secularism integral part of the constitution basic structure. So even the Supreme Court stated that both are the basic structure of the constitution. So if something is basic structure of the constitution, so that means it cannot be amended by the parliament. So dear student, tell me in the comment box, so you have to study about basic structure of constitution. You have to study about the basic structure of the constitution, how it is evolved, and tell me in the comment box which Supreme Court judgment laid the foundation for the emerge the basic structure of the constitution. So need broad consensus. So any discussion regarding amendment to the preamble would require thorough thorough deliberation, broad consensus, but as of now government has not initiated any formal proceeding change this provision. So if we want to change something in our preamble is called as identity card, or it's the vision of our constitution, it is the aspiration, it is the horoscope of our constitution. So any changes that is need to be consensus driven, deliberation, debate, so that it is acceptable to the everyone. That is what our objective should be. So whenever you are writing anything, so you can write that preamble is horoscope, preamble is our future aspiration of our constitution. Okay. So next is the Supreme Court asked Madhya Pradesh High Court to hear claim of the Bhopal gas tragedy of misclassification of illness on merit. So I think you know a very good quote, delay justice, justice delayed, justice denied. So this is what happened with the Bhopal gas tragedy. So here there are so many people who have been classified as a not affected much, but later on they are found that they are affected because of this gas leak lead to the cancer or other severe illness. Supreme Court Thursday gave right group representing victim of the Bhopal gas disaster liberty to approach Madhya Pradesh High Court with their claim that survivor with lasting severe injury and illness are wrongly classified as a temporary disablement. So that is the reason they have been paid very less amount of compensation. So minor injury and under compensation for year. So Bhopal gas tragedy is happened because of leak of chemical called methyl isocyanide in 18 in 1984. So because of that, so many people have been died, and the owner who have escaped from it's a US based ownership, so they have escaped from India to USA, and government need to compensate. But once a disaster happen, how government misclassify, not provide proper victim compensation. That is the reason in India, whenever we have started any developmental project, first tendency of the people is to oppose that developmental project. Okay, they have urged top court to direct the center to identify those misclassified victims and categorize them correctly under the provision of the Bhopal Gas Leak Disaster Processing Claim Act 1985. Okay, the center has termed the Bhopal gas tragedy the world largest industrial disaster. So you can note that the Bhopal gas tragedy is world largest disaster. Both the government and Supreme Court agree. So why this disaster happened? Because of leaking of methyl isocyanide. We called it as a MIC, methyl isocyanide. Given here, methyl isocyanide from Union Carbide factory. Now it's called Dow Chemicals. Okay, a long history of litigation attempting to recover damage from the USA headquarter Union Carbide factory. Now it's called Dow Chemicals Corporation. Ended with Supreme Court recently dismissed the petition, and they say that whatever the claim you have, you can claim from the government, because at that time during the the incident and later on cases, already the Union Carbide factory paid the compensation amount that is being demanded by the government. So it is the responsibility of the government. If any additional amount, so they have to pay. So next is in possession of data. So data shows that survivors suffering from cancer, kidney failure as a result of toxic gas exposure were classified under the minor or temporary injury. All these cases out to be added to the permanent disability category. Group had submitted their plea. So this is very much important for your mains whenever you are talking about anything related to disaster management, anything to talking about industry, anything talking about health. So you can discuss about all these things. Even in polity, justice delay, justice deny, how people are suffering, social justice, you can write this example. So that is the reason you need to take note of it and what are the issue involved here. So assertion advocating session attract UAPA ruled by the High Court. So Jammu Kashmir High Court has observed that advocating and inciting unlawful activity by asserting that Jammu Kashmir is illegally occupied and must be separated from Indian Union attract unlawful prevention activity act. So UAPA. So if you are appealing to the people that Jammu and Kashmir is occupied illegally by India and we need to separate, then there is a provision of UAPA will apply, because this is what led to this secessionism or separatism, or you can say threatening the sovereignty and integrity of India. So that is what said by the Jammu Kashmir. Section 13 specifically stated that whosoever take part, incite or advocate or albeit unlawful activity shall be punishable with imprisonment. If anyone involved in anti-national or subversive activity, that person should be penalized, which may extend to 7 years, also liable to fine. Such accustom and respondent, so no need to go that. Just remember that anyone try to threaten the unity, integrity and sovereignty of India, so that person face the UAPA Act, unlawful activity prevention act. Okay, so let's move to the next important news. So Karnataka step of hit on Goa, say it will go ahead with the Mahadehi project. So dear student and UPSC, multiple occasions they have asked about the interstate river water dispute. If they don't ask anything, then in mains you can write about, there is a topic called interstate river water dispute, center test dispute or federal issue. So there you can write about Mahadev project is affecting the between two states, Goa and Maharashtra, Goa and Karnataka. So a Goa government could file a contempt petition in Supreme Court against the Karnataka for carrying out activity aimed at diverting the river water. Okay, because these are against the order of the Supreme Court. The tribunal concerned had given his verdict in Mahadai and were already floated a tender. So next, Goa has been opposing the project which proposed to divert the Mahadai water into Malaprabha river. So they are planning to divert the water from Mahadai to Malaprabha river. Okay, to enhance the drinking water supply in part of Dharwad, Belgavi, and Bagalkote and Gadga district of Karnataka. The diversion of the Mahadai water has long been point of contention between Karnataka and Goa. So here, though we are having a cooperative federalism union state, but still there are interstate river water dispute. Okay? while later claiming it should be impact the flora and fauna. The Mahadai flow Karnataka Goa before joining the Arabian Sea. So Mahadai flown through the Karnataka and Goa before joining the Arabian Sea. So you need to map this. You need to map this river. You need to map this river. कैसे मैप करोगे? Just let me see show you.
से पहले इन्हें मछली के अंदर से
अरबी सी
निकाला जाता है।
You just put the name here, you'll find it. Okay. Yes, you can see here. This is Goa, Karnataka. Here is given the river course, so you can have fair amount of idea what's going on. Okay. So you can see the water like image of that also. So in this way you can prepare in a holistical way. So have fair amount of idea river is located in which part. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next important news. Dear student, we are already providing free NCERT test in our application. If you are preparing for NCERT, then simply scan this QR code, join and practice. After completion of a particular subject, practice some test. So next CSAT PYQ question already we are also uploading in our application, so you can practice that, because you know most of the question they are repetition of the PYQ in your CSAT. So dear student, those who are trying to give 2026 UPSC, so you know after prelims and mains hardly 75 days left, so it's very difficult for you to complete everything. So you can start writing answer from now by scanning this QR code. The price is very less and our evaluation are UPSC selected candidates, so that means you will get very high quality evaluation at very low price. So every SC/ST complaint must lead to the filing of FIR without preliminary inquiry. That is what said by the High Courts. In a significant verdict, Madras High Court held that police cannot conduct a preliminary inquiry on receipt of complaint disclosing cognizable offence under the Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocity Act. This act is very essential whenever you are talking about how we can prevent the atrocity against the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. So we can say Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocity Act 1989. So this is very much important to tackle a crime against the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. No need to go in detail. So this act is more than enough for our examination. So High Court to review legislation affecting choice of surname in matrilineal Meghalaya. So in Meghalaya, what happened? So the son or daughter, mother, they took the surname of mother. So now there is a legislation that is being passed, legislation or customary law in the Meghalaya, so that deny the right of reservation property if a person having surname of father or husband, so which is against the equality principle. So some right activists they file a case so that they can bring about reform. A law that restrict the issuance of scheduled tribe certificate to individual who adopted their father's or husband's surname have come under judicial scrutiny in matrilineal Meghalaya. So Meghalaya basically a matrilineal society where mother name is passed on to the next generation, challenging the certain provision of Khasi Hill Autonomous District Council. So just these are the given important point, but here one more important thing that we can learn: what are the unique tribal culture that we can learn in tribal society. Here we can see women are head of the family, so that we can need to be promote and tribal culture. And you can say if you are talking about matrilineal in your social and society answer, so here you can get some examples of location where they are found. Okay, apart from that, not much important. And dear student, those who are want to practice the essay answer writing, so you can scan this QR code to join our program. So price is very less, so it is 1000 rupees. You'll get 10 essays, so price is very nominal, and your essay is evaluated by already selected candidates with good rank. Okay, so we are also providing mentorship program, so you can scan this QR code, and we are also providing free current affair, so you can also scan to join it. So next important article is 24-year survey revealed that coral cover in Lakshadweep saw 50% reduction. So coral are beautiful marine species, so they are a center of tourist attraction. But coral also known as the oceanic the evergreen forest of ocean, because they have produced lot of oxygen that support our environment, and also they also capture the carbon dioxide. The concerning revelation have emerged from one of the longest running coastal reef monitoring program. So 20-year long study shows that coral in Lakshadweep archipelago have declined to half of what they were in 1998. So that means whatever the amount in 1998, so now it is half. That means we are facing severe threat to our coral reef. So such as wave exposure, depth, and play essential role in shaping how reef respond to the recover from these events. So let's say these are the coral reef, so they are live in a very shallow water. So if this wave is increased, so that means the depth of the water will increase. So because of that, coral will not get proper sunlight nutrition, so there is high chances of death also. Since 1999, researchers from the National Conservation Foundation have been tracking coral reef condition at three atolls across the Lakshadweep. So what are the atolls? So Agati, Kadmat, and Kavarti. So to understand how the reef respond to the climate change, this program has monitored reef as they decline from recovery from the El Nino and El Niño events is also very severely impacting the coral reef. So El Nino means it's a condition where the water level is either rise or fall. So if water level is fall, so that means the coral reef will exposed to the air. So that led to the suffocation and killing of the coral reef. So a reduction recovery rate over 24 years, several coral declining from 37 to 19%, reflecting roughly reduction waistline. So that means because of our developmental activity, because of marine pollution, because of fertilizer and all the chemical we are using, so our coral reefs are facing severe threat of extinction. So that is what you can, whenever you are talking about coral reef are extinct, so you can give this example. Recently study we have found in Lakshadweep that coral reef has been reduced 50%. If we don't take action, so there is high chances that they might extinct, and they are acting very important role as a marine food chain. So they are the best of the marine food chain. So without the coral reef, our entire food chain will be collapsed. So next one is citizenship under the suspicion. So recently we have seen there is a crackdown against all these illegal migrant all over the India, particularly those who are from Bangladeshi and those who are from the Myanmar. So, following the recent detention, resident of the West Bengal by Delhi police, suspicion of being illegal Bangladeshi migrant. So find out how exchange of land parcel between two neighboring nations in 2015 affecting those opted for the Indian citizens. देखो, what happened? This is the India, this is the Bangladesh. So like that. So here there are 51 enclaves of Indian enclaves that is located within the Bangladesh, and in India we have 111 enclaves that is located in India, but they are under the Bangladesh control. So what we have done, we have exchanged this enclave under 100 constitutional amendment. So that is what called land boundary agreement, LBA, land boundary agreement. We have exchanged this land. So some people say that because of this they are facing the problem. So they claim that they used to reside in one of the 111 Indian enclaves located deep inside the Bangladesh that were exchanged with 51 Bangladeshi enclave in India as per the land boundary agreement signed in 2005 after 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so they say that people living in the enclaves in India were given the choice of moving to the Bangladesh or staying put, became Indian citizens. The Delhi police have been seen Bangladesh related documents on the mobile phone of women and men on this part. So that is what we need to ensure, because we need to find out those who are illegal they should not allow, while those who are our citizen we should not harass them, because it is ultimately creating hardship for them. So that is what step we need to take. So next is, as climate change events spike, key focus should be drowning prevention. That is what said by the expert. So we have seen that so many people in the eastern coast particularly, they are dying whenever there is severe flooding. So recently an incident happened at the end of the April this year. Tamil Nadu completely avoidable drowning incident took place. A 4-year-old girl while attending summer camp and the kindergarten fall into a water tank in the premises and died. So that is what happened. It can be prevented, but as we gradually move and rising climate change and urbanization, so our urban flooding is quite prevalent. So there is high chances that people might drown, people might kill. So we need to create awareness, we need to create swimming lesson, we need to create a lot of coordination to prevent this unavoidable death. So that is what this article is talking about. So please read it, you will understand it. So next article is about what deter the pilot from seeking help, mental health concern. So despite growing awareness of mental health issue post pandemic, many pilots remain reluctant to seek help for anxiety, depression, and burnout, not just due to social stigma, but fear of disclosure could affect their medical clearance and earning capacity. So, though so many pilots they are suffering from the mental health, but they are not disclosing. They are fear that if they disclose their mental health condition, so there might high chances that they might face severe, disapproval from the regulator. So they might job lose their job. So the trauma among the queue post crash suggested that deliberate pilot action resulting crash. So recent finding have shown that the fuel switch have been moved from the on to cut off. The trauma among the crew post crash suggested for deliberation pilot action resulting crash have once again brought under focus the mental health of Indian pilot who are known to be under tremendous stress because of multitude of the factors. So our pilot they are facing lot of challenges. So many pilots, especially those flying high frequency domestic sector across the industry, face related roster and consecutive layover that leave little room for rest or meaningful family engagement. Over time, the cumulative toll of such schedule can strain personal bond and foster a sense of isolation. If pilot is having very hectic schedule, they have to do lot of domestic travel, so that will put heavy burden on their mental. And you know that flying is very delicate. You need to have very presence of mind and calmness in mind, otherwise small error can lead to this severe accident. So we need to ensure mental health of our pilots. So DGCA issue a circular on mental health promotion to encourage self-reporting. DGCA empaneled doctor who conduct pilots annual medical exam. We are directed to use 29 questionnaires to assess the cognitive function and alertness, but medical circular provide no detail to the pilot about what scrutiny they may entail and for what conditions. Okay, so this recently DGCA also issued directions to ensure that all pilots should be checked so that their mental health can be ascertained. So this is also one more important article. So rural ground light off and signify bright and new era. So recently we are saying there is a plethora of sports activity being light off in our rural area. So the global leaders CSR initiative driving the country aspiration of hosting musky event like Olympic also provide boarding athletes platform to hone their skills. So just imagine India is having 30 states, and let's say UTs also. There are a lot of UTs and states also. Let's say each state and UT, so bilingual, sir, bilingual. Yes, definitely. Ankur Sharma definitely will try to promote in a bilingual way. I know that a lot of students are not able to understand in English only, so I'll देखो मैं जब भी बात करूंगा दो लैंग्वेज में बात करूंगा, ठीक है, gradually, don't worry. So we are having 30 state plus UT. So if one sport, so you can imagine around 40 sport we can be champion in 40 sports, and we are having let's say 200 top corporates, so they can sponsor one sports. Just imagine what kind of revolution we can bring about it. Okay, so that is what going on, and it is going to be help in India achieving these targets. Significance has been done that quietly for some year now, leading a new dimensions to the corporate social responsibility initiated by lighting of nearly 200 playgrounds. Company joined hands with the Brahmaputra Volleyball Leagues in Assam, founded and managed by the former national volley captain Avijit Bhattacharya. That means we can tap this fund for promoting sporting activity in all over the India. Okay. So next is a united Indian Olympic Association insist on working together to push for 2030 Olympic. So this is a very great news because we are planning to bid for the host of 2036 Olympic. So Indian Olympic Association put a united front with the entire executive council appearing together in public for first time in almost 18 months. So officially titled Powering India's Sporting Aspiration. So Indian Olympic Association Vision 2036 was no denying the meet primarily from affirmed truths in the IOA. So the Indian Olympic Association visit the Lausanne. So Lausanne is the capital where it is in French. So that is what the headquarter of Olympic International Olympic is located there. So part of the India's bid for 2036 Olympic, which include ministry officials, IOC feedback, okay, so help of bringing about the rapprochement. So we are focusing our long term goal of transforming India into a sporting powerhouse. That is what we need to be here. India is home to the 20% of population, so we need 20% of total medal in India also na. It is part of our resolve to power through India's sporting aspiration via mission 2036. This is what said by the Usha Mehta, the PT Usha. So we are equally committed to making sports inclusive space for women, young athletes, those from the tribals, and every Indian's dream for sport excellence. So though we need to promote sports, but sports is as of now not much inclusive. So people from the rural area, they are not getting opportunity. Women's tribals, they are not getting opportunity. So this they are planning to extend that. So recently we are also introduced sports bill, so that is what going to be bring governance in our sports. So 7-member anti-doping panel meanwhile will be headed by India's Daviscov captain Rohit Rajpal after India poor record flagged by the IOC. So there is a doping means consuming some prohibited drug to improve your performance. So there is a severe you can say severe complaint by the Olympic Association about India's doping record. So we have formed a committee to improve that. The center released new telecom policy draft. So center recently released new telecom policy draft. So this is also in 2008 we have issued. So the government will soon release a new national telecom policy 7 years after the last one put by the telecom department. So what is that? So telecom from 2008 national digital communication policy. So in 2008 we have started national telecom policy with a sector specific focus on increasing connectivity, modernizing domestic telecom supply chain, and adding 1 million job in the industry. So national digital communication policy 4 million target. So upskilling existing worker. The policy also emphasize reducing the sector carbon footprint by 30 and improving cyberspace and security. So that is what main objective. You can discuss about what are the objective that we are going to achieve through the telecom policy. Okay, so here they are giving a lot of information, so we need to understand. So what are the other objective? So government has set a targets of covering 90% of the population by 5G 2030 and 10% 4G, and tower are connected by the fiber. So now this tower are not connected by the fiber, they are connected by the air link. So because of that there might be disruption. If you connected through the fiber, so our speed will be increased significantly. So fiber to the telecom network as opposed to the wireless link of the towers how to be increased from 46 to 80. So we need to fiberize our network also. So 1 million Wi-Fi hotspots targeted to set off, okay, and encourage the satellite internet where needed. So center also propose boost to the local research and development effort in telecom, increasing Indian participation in global standards dissemination and particularly 6G. So as of now, though we are largest market, we are having 20% of the world population, but we are not contributing significant to the standard setting at the international level. We have already missed the 5G, but now it is the right time. We should start R&D, research and development, and design 6G products so that we can design set standard at the international level. Then only our product can be exported. So this is also planning. Domestic manufacturing is also important aspect, should increase to 150% by 2030. So draft encourage huge development of AI specific cyberspace such as cyber security, where AI is touted as both challenges in offensive terms. So we need to encourage use the AI also. So just read them. So if anything related to what kind of step government is taking to promote digitalization, connectivity, so you can talk of this. There's a lot of information that is being provided daily basis. So you just need to know all these things. Okay. So next is India UK trade deal likely to be boost farmer export growth by 20%. Yes. So that is what benefit for India also. So India UK Kingdom, this is called CETA, sharpen India's competitive edge on number of agricultural food related item according to officials. The government expect India UK comprehensive economic trade agreement signed two countries on the Thursday led to the substantial benefit a variety of Indian export oriented sectors such as our agriculture will benefit, textile sector, leather sector, chemical and engineering goods. So they'll get the benefit. And because of that, tariff on UK product will reduce from current 15% to 3%. So that means all the UK good will quite cheaper in India. Okay, so it will cover 92% of the item currently exported from UK to India. So among the item that cheaper in Indian market, which which is quite good for you all. So next is aerospace, automobile and electrical machinery. So these item will be cheaper in India because our tariff is now very less. So next important is agricultural. India export about 36 billion globally. So while UK import 37.52 billion, but though we are exporting huge amount and UK is importing huge amount, but our contribution in export to UK is very less. It is less than 1 billion. So that means there is a room for export of product to the UK. So duty free access to the exporter to raise agricultural export about 20% next 3 year. Okay, so that means we are gradually planning to increase more export to the UK. No sensitive sector. India has not provided UK access to these more sensitive sectors such as dairy. So we are not opening off our dairy sector for free trade agreement. So product, dairy product and apples, oats and edible oil. So these exclusion reflect India's calibrated trade strategy, one that prioritizes food security, domestic price stability and vulnerable farmers. So though we are negotiating free trade agreement with multiple number of countries, but we are opening off on area where it is not sensitive to our interest. We are opening off, you can say we are not opening off agriculture, apples, oats, edible oil, because these are very much essential for food security and price of our farmer, protecting our farmer from price surge or fluctuation in the price. So competitive edge. So we are making negotiation. Let's say these are the goods UK is having competitive advantage, these are the goods India is having competitive advantage. So that means whenever we are having free trade agreement, so that complement one another. This sharpen Indian competitive edge on the number of agriculture and food related item. Officials explain, for example, export of fresh grapes to UK. Deal provides Indian advantage over the Brazil, so bring on par with the top exporters such as Egypt, South Africa. In processed food, deal help India to gain ground on the USA, China and Thailand. So this is what the benefit we can expect. So next important news is engineering, textile and MSME set to get benefit. So MSME will get benefit, engineering from the CETA. So eminent tariff. So now our tariff is going to reduce from 12 to 3%. So that okay, just read it out. Already given a lot of things. So here the Ajay Seth appointed as a IRDAI. So what is the full form of IRDAI? Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. So former Finance Secretary. So you can see here the former Finance Secretary and Economy Affairs Ajay Seth appointment as a chairman of the Insurance Regulatory Development Board of India for 3 year terms. Okay. So you need to know about IRDI, whether IRDI is a statutory body or it is a constitutional body or it's a executive body. And then second one is, if it is a statutory body, then it is established under which act. Then what are the role of IRDI? Okay. So you need to know all these things. So next important news of the day. So the Adivasi, Dalit and women are at the core of the cooperation policy of the center. So recently there is a establishment of Ministry of Cooperation and Policy are being framed and promoted for enhancing the cooperative sector. So aiming to connect 50 crore people with cooperative sector, Union Home and Cooperative Minister Amit Shah unveiled National Cooperation Policy 2025. Recently, we have unveiled, that means we have launched the National Cooperative Policy, that is what called Cooperation Policy 2025. So here, most of the cooperative sector, they are helping the poor, they are Dalit, they are the Adivasi, they are the women. So Dalit, Adivasi and women are at the core of the new cooperative policy. This is only second such policy sector since independence, with first being enacted in 2002 during the tenure of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So expressing confident that India will become the third largest economy. So now largest economy is USA, second is China, third is German, and fourth is India. So will cross German very fast. So the minister emphasized need for inclusive development of 130 crore people, noting that it is was cooperative sector that had the potential to change up the life of the people. Yes, because majority of our population, they are residing in the rural area. If we can change the life of this being about cooperative sector, vibrant cooperative sector, definitely that is going to change the life of the rural people. So 80 crore people who have got cylinder house from the government are wondering what to do next. So next is about promoting the cooperative sector to improve their economy. Policy defines 6 pillars to achieve the goal of cooperative. They are strengthening the foundation. So we need to first strengthening foundation, promote vibrancy, that means promote profitability, preparation of cooperative society for future, enhancing inclusivity and expanding reach, expanding into new sector, preparation of younger generation for cooperative development. So Ministry of Cooperation has prepared detailed plan for sectors such as tourism, taxi service, so and insurance and greener energy. So where cooperation can be promoted, just like you can see about the AMUL, role of the AMUL, the profit generated through this unit will ultimately reach to the member of through primary credit structure. So emphasize that the goal to build a large and robust cooperative ecosystem, establishing belief that cooperation should be vital instrument in development of future generation. So these are very important points. Whenever you are writing answer, you can simply use this as your conclusion. Na? So so if you are reading newspaper daily basis, so that means you are quite comfortable with this language, so you can note them, or I'm just putting box or highlight, you can copy them and paste in your laptop, so that can be you helpful for your examination. So PM Maldives trip signal improvement in our ties. So PM Maldives trip signals improvement in our ties. So Narendra Modi to attend 16th Independence Day celebration of Maldives. So recently we have seen that our relationship with Maldives is improving after it was plunged to deep low. So when Prime Minister Narendra Modi attend the Maldives 16th Independence Day celebration in capital Malé, his presence will mark a major turnaround ties between the neighbor, something that neither side might have foreseen 18 months ago. So what happened before the President Moiju election? So started a campaign of India out. So they try to make India out of from the Maldives, and taking off the campaign by former President Abdullah Yemen for his successive presidential terms. And after that, we have seen that they have allowed the Chinese investment, and they have visited the China, and even their minister also make comments against our prime minister. So because of that, our relation, and India also started boycott Maldives movement. So because of that, our relation has been plunged. But during conference of party meeting 28 climate summit in Dubai, so we are agreed to bolster the economic partnership between two country and people to people contact. So we know that ups and downs in relationship. Maldivian minister making a derogatory remark against the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So after Modi ji paid a visit to the Lakshadweep Island. So boycott Indians started a boycott Maldives campaign. So that led to the severe declining in the tourists that is coming to the Maldives from India. So from after no, during that time when Maiju returned from the China, they have said against the India that Maldives might be a small island nation, but that did not allow other to bully country, and that Maldives is not anyone backyard. That is a clear indications that India should not bully Maldives, and Maldives is not a backyard of India. Okay? So Moiju said no Indian military personnel, not even those in the civilian cloth, would be present in his country, because we have donated some some helicopter to operate in these Maldives, and to operate that India there is a military person stationed there. But Moiju said that there should not be no military person. So after that, India withdraw all the military person. Now only the technical person are given. So India fully pulled out of the troop from the Maldives and meeting the deadline set by the Moiju. So with a compromise replacing them with technical personnel. Subsequently, Thai saw improvement, paving the way for President Moiju state visit in 2024. So when island nation face a severe debt crisis, India helped them a lot, like with a Maldives 750 billion help island nation tied over its currency, foreign currency shortage. So we are also providing grant. Okay? Today India flags have been flown all over the Maldives. So because of this meeting, so Mr. Modi is first head of the state to visit Maldives since President Moju assumed the office. So first foreign officer. So you can say, so here it is talking about because of the hard work and effort, we have restored the relationship. So, describing joint vision of India and Maldives comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership, guiding the framework for bilateral ties. So, our relations have been improving a lot. So next important news is Supreme Court working with the government to clear month-long pending judicial appointment. This is what said by the High Court. So there are what is the sanction strength of the judiciary? So in High Court around 1,122 sanction strength. Out of that 750 are there. So that means around 25 to 30% post of High Court are lying vacant. So and you can imagine, on the other hand we have huge pendency of cases. On the other hand there is post are lying vacant. So Supreme Court working with the government to clear month long pending judicial appointment to High Court. So this is what said by the Chief Justice of India. Said that the administrative side of the Supreme Court is engaging with government to clear the collegium recommendation for judicial appointment to the High Court. So देखो what happened. So it is the collegium after giving a recommendations to the government. So government need to act fast. Government need to conduct some inquiry. So this recommendation guided by memorandum of procedure, MOP, memorandum of procedure. But there are delay by the government side. They are not appointing in time. So we are pursuing administrative side. Some names are being clear. Okay. So because of this delay, so we are facing severe shortage of judges at the High Court. Okay. So a committee to look into the legal structure of the IMD. So you know that IMD is organization that is providing meteorological service about the cyclone, about the rainfall, all these things detail. But being part of the it is the part of the Ministry of Earth Science. So they can be question, IMD comes under which ministry? Ministry of Earth Science. It is not part of the Ministry of Climate Change. So the IMD is part of the World Meteorological Organization, and it is a nodal agency for dissemination of all weather related incident. But IMD is not operate under any act, any single act. So we need to pass a act to ensure their streamlining of operation. And being a part of World Meteorological Organization, it is our responsibility to pass a law to ensure that IMD is operating under this law. So that is what they are talking about. So next is at UNSC, India says that Gaza ceasefire must reaffirm support to the Palestine. So we know that Palestine and Israel conflict is going on. India has been repeatedly abstained from the voting, but now it is saying that there should be a ceasefire in the Gaza, and those who hostages there, this need to be released, and there need to be a negotiation and settlement of the dispute. So this is what change in the position of India. So India's position that two-state solution was the only pathway to enduring peace between the Israel and Palestine. India shares historic and strong ties with our Palestinian brother and sister. We have always stood by them, and our commitment towards Palestine cause is unwavering. So this is what said by the India. In past, we have abstain from the voting about the ceasefire, but now we have changed our stand. The ceasefire must be put in place and all hostages must be released. Dialogue and diplomacy remain the only pathway to achieve this objective. There is no other fixes or solution. This is what said by India. That means there is a change in the Indian position. So next, Chinese surveillance gear banned for Independence Day parade, which is very good thing. So after the Operation Sindoor, we have seen how China is helping the Pakistan. So we have prevented all Chinese made equipment that is to be used in our Independence Day parade. So next is Supreme Court to stay blast. So Bombay High Court has concluded that the prosecution utterly failed. That means the prosecuting agencies or the legal enforcement agency, police, they failed to establish guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That means those who are conflict or 100% surety that these persons are involved. So it has set aside the 2005 judgment given by Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Court, and which awarded death penalty to them scot free. Though this accident caused a loss of 187 life and 800 people died because of that, but because of lack of evidence, lack of proper substantial evidence, they have been given conviction free. Okay, so this is all about also the free trade agreement. So just read here. So India and UK also agree to negotiate reciprocal double contribution conventions. This agreement, when it comes to the effect, will ensure that employee and employer working across the border for a period of up to 3 years pay the social contribution only one country at a time. So let's say there is a something like let's say some Indian company working here, but their employee working in UK. So no need to pay double social security from India and UK. So any one country they can pay social security, and later on they can be adjusted if they are employing for more than 3 years. Okay. So next is Vision 2035 joint statement comprising several pillars. So growth, jobs, technology, built on the technological security initiative launched exactly a year ago. In climate, defense, security. So these are the area we are planning to cooperate by 2035. That is the vision. That means we are having the vision or aspirations. They committed to strengthen the multilateralism. That means United Nations Security Council, UNSC Security Council reform, World Trade Organization, then Commonwealth reform, so International Monetary Fund and World Bank reform. So these are the support that we need. Both UK and India, they can fight, and UK is supporting India, their member or candidature in UNSC, and reforming other institutions to reflect or improving the position of India. So UK is a permanent member of UNSC Security Council and support Indian permanent membership to this body. So these support are very much essential for improving our uh, global stature. So two countries would also enhance cooperation on extradition of economic offenders. So we know that so many economic offenders, they are taking shelter in the Britain, like there are people. So we need to have cooperation so that we can brought back them to the India. So 61 lakhs name may be out of Bihar draft electoral roll. Okay, so they are excluded because some people are died, some people name is missing, some people are staying outside, some people don't fill the form. Just read it, that is more than enough. So next is decoding election commission counter affidavit on. Sir, this is not much important because they are very important for analysis purpose. For our examination, not much important. So what is important, I've just highlighted. So this is talking about one article. Article 326 is talking about universal adult franchise. That means all person have to elected. So this is what I have just highlighted. Read this. This is more than enough, because paper are not designed for our examination. There is a separate audience, but we are reading because we don't have any alternative. So not much important. Just read whatever I highlighted. The share of Indian household with access to the toilets is increasing to 95%, which is a very good news. That means household having toilet is near to universal. We are going to achieve that very soon. And dear student, we are also providing this premium infographic, that is the highlighted version of newspaper. It is already available in our application. Scan this QR code to join it. It is hardly 300 rupees and you will get 50% discount if you join fast before 1st of August. This is very less than, in even a cup of tea or cup of coffee. So you can get the benefit of highlighted. You can reduce your 3 hour study to just 45 minutes. So just imagine in a year you can how much time you are saving. So don't let start preparing, start downloading it and getting it. You can join that. Should India relax its adaptation procedure? So recently an article is published where we have seen that so many parents are waiting for the kids and there is lack of availability of the kits. That led to the demand that we need to remove the procedural complexity in adoption process to ensure the faster adoption. So by analyzing data from the Central Adoption and Resource Authority, this is what called CARA. This is a statutory body that is being established, Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act 2019. Okay, so team from the found that every child free from adoption, 13 parent wait in line. That means one child to be adopted, there 13 parents are in the line. So the Supreme Court has directed CARA to make measure to streamline, expedite the adoption process. So Supreme Court makes suggestion that there need to be streamlined so that faster adoption can be happen. But the question is, what are the problems? So many people are believe that CARA strict requirement and lengthy procedure for adoption parent are responsible for long waiting period. Is that true? But in reality, this is not the true, because there are so many delay because parents wants their requirement. For example, they want kid to be very like 1 year 2 year, not older kids. Second one is they are not accepting the specially need or disabled kids. So that is the reason there is a long waiting. It is not like that there is no availability of the kids. There are a lot of kids, but there is no one to take care of these kind of people, those who are already elder. So they don't accept them. So apart from the procedural, parents must follow. There has to be procedure involved in the bringing children into the adaptation pool, are they are speeding up. Only children in adaptation agencies get evaluated for potential adaptability. I think children in the child shelter should also be evaluated. Like children those who are in the shelter, they need to be also provided. So that is what the article. So in 2020, World Orphan Report estimated that 3.1 crore children in India who are orphans. So this report, but here we are find 200 odd, but this here it is saying that those who are we see in this state, they are not orphans, they are having their parents, family or relatives. So that is the reason there is a wrong perception or wrong data. So just read it, you'll understand it. Not much information that I can share with all of you. So a slow revival. Recently, we have seen our relationship with China is improving very fast. So we know that post Galwan Valley, so relationship had been very bad term. Now we have seen it is improving very fast. Like China allow visa for Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, and we are also issuing visa. But recently also China blocked the supply of critical minerals, fertilizers, and India also blocked the investment. So these are some negative things. So India decisions to restart issuing tourist visa Chinese national, a strong signal that diplomacy over the restoring time rent apart by the LSE stand-up Galvan Valley classes moving smoothly. So recently our Prime Minister is also going to visit the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in China. So there might be negotiate for finding solution or at least restore the peace for time being. So we have a working mechanism for consultation and coordination on the Indo-China border. So here they have met 3 times. So they are discussing how to settle the border dispute. Okay. So next you can talk about, we have seen that despite all these things, despite, India have been repeatedly saying that we need to first normalize our border tension, then only we can promote bilateral relation and trade. But China is very adamant. China is playing game with us because China is on the one hand gaining, market and profit from India by exporting goods, on the other hand it is threatening in the security. So India should not fall into that trap. So we need to push, use trade as a leverage to get, solve our border dispute, get solved at the earliest. So this is what the article, not much important. That is what the crux of this attitude. So next is clean house. So septic tank dislodging must be mechanized completely. So recently we have seen so many people are dying by manual cleaning of the septic tanks whenever they enter into the septic tanks. So this septic tanks produce so many, hazardous poisonous gas. So because of that, so many people are dying because of asphyxiation. So social audit of 54, of which social justice tabled in parliament. So lie a deleterious picture about local contractor hire 38 only 5. So no need to go all these things. So recently there is a we have implemented Swachh Bharat mission. Then there is a manual scavenger prohibition and rehabilitation act. So there have been laws that prohibit the manual scavenger. So first one is manual scavenger prohibition and rehabilitation act, Swachh Bharat mission. We have also implemented Namaste. So Namaste basically aim to mechanize. So national action for mechanizing sanitation, to mechanize our sanitation cleaning. So recently a parliamentary report, it is said that around 60,000 people are dying while cleaning the septic tanks. So this is a sad reminder that despite having law, despite having so many things, still people are dying. There are at least, why they are dying, why so many people are dying, because those who are cleaning the septic tanks, they are entering into the septic tanks without having protective gear. But few states, they are being working very hard. Odisha identify workers have PPE kit, and they have been access to the Odisha provide PPE kit, other kits for the sewage workers so that they can extract. Chennai also doing the same. So India real problem is enforcement. So we need to invest more money in development of mechanized robot that can go inside the sewage and cleaning it. Okay. So then only we can see the end of our death of our, people. So next, India UK free trade spell a poor deal for public health. So recently we all are celebrating the free trade agreement that is being signed between India and UK. But there is belief that if we sign this free trade, there might be flow of junk foods, flow of, high sugar salt content from UK to India, because our regulation, our food regulation is quite low as compared to UK. So that might create a unhealthy choice, promote junk food in India, which is very harmful for our people health. So this article is talking about that only. A fault line in India's electoral architecture are visible. So same, it is also talking about the special intensive revision drive that is being going on in the Bihar. Because these are very political news, not much important for examination. If it is important, then I've just highlighted it. So this article is talking about, in India there are so many people who are migrant. So if we are following this SIR like exercise, so that might lead to the disenfranchisement of large number of people. So what we can do, so in USA they follow a strategy like, in USA they are estimated 30 million to 35 million voter in the state other than their home. So absentee and mail-in ballot allow them to remain vote. So that means those who are internally migrants, so they can mail their vote. So same thing we can do in India also. So there can be postal ballot that we can ensure that those who are the, migrant workers, so they can cast their vote also. So this is the article. I think this is what I just read it, you'll understand. Dear student, during the discussion I have given you a lot of homework, so please practice them homework, and I'll provide the some MCQ question on the basis of that in our YouTube channel. So that also practice. Chaliye, we'll have to end here. Please like, subscribe to this channel if like this discussion, and if you have any suggestion regarding this discussion, what kind of improvement we need to incorporate, you are always welcome. Please write in the comment box. Accordingly we'll incorporate all these things. Chaliye, bye bye, have a good day, take care.